Good afternoon, everybody. We are feeling fine. Clint Pasillas, Alanna Rizzo with you, your hosts on this brand new edition of Dodgers Territory. We have a lot to talk about, obviously, being that the Dodgers have clinched the National League. Clint, they are headed to the World Series for the first time since 2020. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Please make sure that you rate us 5 stars. Go like us, subscribe on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. Clint, lots to go. Let's get to the big ticket.
Let's do it.
All right. Is this the World Series matchup that the world has been clamoring for? Is this the matchup that everybody wanted to see? What could we have asked for in terms of a better World Series? Two Goliaths going head to head.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't going to be Dodgers Guardians, with all due respect to the Cleveland organization. People wanted Dodgers Yankees, a series 43 years in the making, and you feel really good about your Dodgers heading into this. You should also feel good as a Yankees fan heading into this one. Good for baseball. Good for baseball. Congrats to Fox and all that money they're about to make. But 2013, the last time both number one seeds made it to a World Series. So the world is healing. We don't have, again, all due respect, we don't have Rangers and Diamondbacks from a year ago. This is what baseball needed.
Well, I can tell you that we're excited because Dodgers territory is a lot more fun when we're talking about our own team being in the postseason. Don't forget to watch Pinstripe Territory as well. Our friend Derek Lewandowski does a tremendous job with them. We'll probably have a crossover show coming up sometime this week, maybe on Thursday. We'll keep you posted. But stay right here with Clint and I because we're going to have every single, our normal shows during the week and, of course, post games for you as well. Dave Roberts, Clint, masterclass of managerial duties this year. I think probably better than any other year of his tenure. One of 6 managers in history to win 4 or more league titles since postseason expanded beyond the World Series in 1969. I was a little concerned in the DS. I made the mistake. And I tell you what, he's managed his butt off in this postseason so far in 2024.
Yeah, we talked about it last night. What we've seen out of Dave in this postseason, the fact that he's able to tune out the noise, keep this team, on course, along with some very good field generals he has in that clubhouse as well. Um, it's I keep going with masterclass because he's playing every card. He understands all of the BS that he will get if the Dodgers get bounced in that first round, and honestly, deservedly so. Even if it's he's not the guy out there, he's not the reason they're missing all of these starting pitchers and all of that. He's not even the reason the Dodgers went out and got themselves a Tommy Edman. But still, somebody has to answer. Somebody has to be the guy that takes accountability. It's not going to be Andrew Friedman. It's not going to be Brandon Gomes, and usually Dave, like he told us when he joined us a couple months ago. He hears the noise, he tunes it out, doesn't have social media going, and he's finally learned how to really not learn, but he the way he played everybody in this postseason so far, the Machado situation, us to a degree. It's impressive. It is very, very impressive, taking the heat off of the boys so they can go out there and play some meaningful baseball games.
Well, he doesn't have social media, but I can tell you that his kids do because when I was questioning what was going on early on in the DS, they both slid into my DMs, even though they don't have to because they have my phone number. And they were like, wait a minute, wait a minute. You've known him for a long time. You know better than to question what's happening. And they're right. They're absolutely right. And I said, listen, I know you guys are texting with your heart, but I've always had your dad's back. So good for him. All right, let's talk about the overall sentiment, Clint, going into this World Series. This is an unbelievably tight knit group. We've heard from Mookie Betts about it. Obviously, Brett Honeywell and Max Muncy had some really good postseason sound with or post game sound with David Vassay. I mean, some emotional stuff. What's your overall takeaway from the sentiment and the tight knit group?
We talked a little bit about it last night. Of course, we hadn't watched any of the post game stuff, any of the drunken celebration, because we were live enjoying some wine and some Modelo ourselves. So we deserve to celebrate with the boys at least a little bit. Um, Through all the adversity, all the injuries, all the times where maybe lesser men, lesser teams would kind of call it a season, they use that fuel. They've used that to spark them to get better, to play more for themselves. I said last night, the fact that Freddie Freeman is injured and the Dodgers aren't skipping a beat with Freddie Freeman out of the lineup. It's so dang good. Max Muncy just sliding over there, being selfless as
Mhm.
a teammate, playing third, playing first, being an on base machine, and being a very, very big vocal leader for this team as well. So you mentioned that interview with Dave Vassay, friend of the show, and Brent Honeywell. So many great things, and I recommend anybody go online, just find it. It's a 5-minute interview. Where one of the things I really, really liked about it is the last couple of years, Alana, we've heard about the 5-day layoff, and we've
Mhm.
witnessed the 5-day layoff. The team come out pretty flat. This time, I very much appreciate the message. Listen, I've never been a big leaguer, but I've having like the boys say, look, you get a chance to be a husband in 3 weeks. You get a chance to be a
Mhm.
father in 3 weeks. You could be a boyfriend in 3 weeks. Right now, give this team your time. The next 3 weeks, it's us, and that's it. Let's focus here. Let's grind it out. 8 hours a day. Spend time with each other, and you're seeing that play out on the field. Like these guys are. They're hungry. They want it, but it's not for them. It's not for the name on the back. It's for all of the names on the front of the jersey. And it's special. Very
It is
special stuff.
special, and I love the fact that Max tells Honeywell after Game 5, "You just won us Game 6." I mean, that's got to make a guy feel unbelievably special when a veteran player like Max Muncy comes over to a guy that wasn't even on the opening day, picture, and says, "The way that you were able to perform in Game 5 just gave us the ability to win Game 6." That's got to make you feel really good. And again, it was all over the place as far as contributions from up and down the lineup. It was all over the place. For them to just be a complete team that they needed to be, and it was really special to see. Much more to come. We're actually going to have Steven Nelson join us here momentarily. He obviously covers the team on a daily basis, not only for Sportsnet LA, but also on AM 570 on the radio with Rick Monday. So back in a second after a quick word from AJ Pierzynski, Eric Kratz, and Scott Braun on Mint Mobile.
I love a great deal, but I'm not going to run sprints in the outfield just to save a few bucks. It has to be easy. No hoops, no BS. With Mint Mobile, it really is that easy to get wireless for $15 a month with the purchase of a 3-month plan. Purchase and activation is super easy too.
To get started, go to mintmobile.com/territory. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number.
To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/territory. That's mintmobile.com/territory. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/territory.
$45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on their first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
All right, we welcome you to Behind the Seams. And I tell you what, this is the first time ever, Clint, that two 50 home run hitters from the regular season are going to play against each other in the Fall Classic. Obviously, we are talking about super slugger Aaron Judge and super slugger Shohei Ohtani, which, by the way, has not ever had a taste of the postseason until this year. Everybody and their mother wanted to see Shohei in the postseason, and we got what we wanted. This is going to be one heck of a matchup. I mean, just as a pure baseball fan, forget if you're a fan of the Yankees or the Dodgers or another club, you've got to love to see how it's going to play out.
Yeah, this is every bit of a star power World Series that we're going to be witnessing from, the guys in the batter's box. You got Judge, like you said. You do have Stanton making a World Series here. But Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts back in the World Series. Garrett Cole in there. Yoshinobu Yamamoto gets, in his first year as a big leaguer, gets to the biggest stage. Very much looking forward to this World Series. Pretty evenly matched teams? Question mark?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think they are evenly matched. And we're going to ask Steven Nelson what he thinks about how well the Dodgers match up with the big bad New York Yankees. Of course, kind enough to join us now here on Dodgers territory. I believe it's still the highest rated Dodgers territory we've had so far. If it's not the highest rated, Steven Nelson is certainly up there in the top 5. So he, of course, is on Sportsnet
Almost there.
LA.
Almost there. I
He is
messed up
also
on
on AM 570 on with Rick Monday on the radio calling the game. So we're going to get him up here shortly. But I tell you what, I think they are very evenly matched. Oh my goodness.
There
Look
he
at
is.
this
Yeah,
cat. Look at
yeah,
Go,
this.
Pat.
yeah, guys.
Wow.
Nelly,
You
how
are
we
Wait,
doing?
hold on. Top 5 what? I hopped on. I got the very tail end of
Top
that. I
5
just want to
shows
know.
ever, like in terms of rating when you were on. If you're not the highest rated show, you're in the top 5 for sure.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. I'll take that. I'll take that. I just didn't
Yeah.
know if it was like top five jabronis I've ever worked with.
Nope, nope.
I
Well,
didn't
I
know
mean,
what we were
that was
ranking.
that was before you popped on, but no. Top 5 highest rated shows that we've had here. I think this is our 68th episode, and you are certainly in the top 5, if not number 1. All right, Steven Nelson, you cover this team on a daily basis on both the radio and on the television side.
Hmm.
How evenly matched up do you think this World Series is?
Oh, that's a great question. Honestly, like this is because of just the way I've grown up as a sports fan. I tend to have a pessimistic lens of my sports life. My first jokes aside, my first thought was don't love the aspect of this matchup that I don't love is the home run. The Dodgers, the last 3 months of the year, I gave up I think the third most home runs in all of baseball. And the Yankees, the last time I checked, though I don't cover them on a day-to-day basis, they have a few decent home run hitters on their team. So that was kind of the most glaring thing that jumped out from a pessimistic standpoint. But looking on the whole, I love the Dodger pen. Hopefully, they can get a couple of those dogs back, namely Alex Vesia, Bruce Dargretto. I know Bazooka's been busting his tail to get back in this thing. Those would be 2 huge lifts. I don't know how that impacts the rest of the roster. Obviously, they have 4 days to get guys right. Would much prefer Freddie Freeman's ankle be at 100%. It won't be close to that by the time Friday rolls around. But yeah, I think there's just a ton of balance, right? I think there's just a beautiful and poetic balance to this a dream matchup for Major League Baseball, right? It's LA and New York. It's the Dodgers and Yankees. You have 2 of the most iconic brands in all of sports. The interlocking LA and the interlocking NY. You have Otani and Judge. You have Betts and Soto. You have Freeman and Stanton and so on and so forth. Cole and Yamamoto. I guess Jack Flaherty, who was traded to the Yankees for all intents and purposes at the line, now pitching for his hometown club. So, I mean, you're just, again, how spoiled are we with this World Series? Just everything that we can go through and dissect. So I think, after getting over the initial, I don't want to see that many. I don't like the home run ball. Then you look at it and you're like, okay, this is, it's really, you couldn't ask for a better World Series matchup.
Hey, couldn't ask for much better of a punch to the World Series there. You on the radio last night. The Dodgers win the pennant. What's it like calling a moment like that for this Dodgers club where you get to rock that LA what do we call that?
Yeah.
Bucket? That's not a bucket, but you look good.
This is
Sombrero,
This is the Father's Day beach hat.
Yeah.
Yes, one of the one of the outstanding giveaways this year. So it was again because I'm relatively new to this play-by-play thing, right? And the experience that I do have is on the television side. I hadn't done radio since college. So, and due respect to my beloved Chapman Panthers, Chapman baseball and Dodger baseball are 2 very different things. Very different things. So, I've a huge debt that I owe to both Rick Monday and Dwayne McDonald and David Vassay and Colin Yee, who've taken care of me on that side and, trying to bring me along and shorten the learning curve as much as we could throughout this season. But as it pertains to last night in particular, Clint. Like I just never really envisioned being in that scenario because
Mhm.
in TV, the torch gets passed to the national guys once the season comes to an end, and so you never really have to worry about that or think about it. So I sure as hell did not think about it. And then, honestly, once Blake got the second out, I was like, I probably should have thought about this a little bit more. Um, I should have wrote some things down. I did not. And, as it played out, like, Alvarez hits the ground ball to CT. It was just sort of just this, natural and human reaction to them climbing the National League mountain, so to speak. And then when we went to the first break, I was like, damn, I probably should have had something in the back pocket there. But who knows? That's just me. I'm like a classic overthinker about literally everything in life, as Alanna definitely knows more. But hopefully, Dodger fans don't hate it too much. But it was definitely a surreal thing to be a part of that night.
Yeah, moment in time. You did a great job on the airwaves, of course, Stephen. Let me ask you, if you are Dave Roberts, if you're Andrew Friedman, if you're putting together this rotation, everyone's going to be well rested, so you can go any way
Yeah,
you want. We know Garrett Cole's throwing for the Yankees in game one. Who are you throwing for the Dodgers?
I think it's got to be Yoshi Yamamoto. I think it sets him up to, you guarantee him a couple of turns. Um, if that happens though, if he pitches game one, then you don't have him in New York, and obviously we all
Right,
remember what happens in the summer when he was there in New
right.
York. Um, but that does not matter. I know Walker is raring to go, and given his experience in the big game, like do you put him in a spot where he's guaranteed two turns? I know they liked him on the road against the Mets, and that worked out. And so Jack's best turn was at home this last series by far, obviously. So I I think if it were me again, my guess would be Yamamoto, Flaherty, Bueller. Um, but I don't know the way that the bullpen games have been utilized this postseason. They're going to have to take that into account. And as Doc was pretty consistent in detailing throughout the NLCS, it's game to game.
Right.
So if the game one dominoes fall right, and they get a lengthy start out of Yama, out of Jack, out of whomever, then they might want to roll a bullpen game in game two. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like if you're just looking at it from the starting pitching standpoint, if I were to remove the bullpen game element from the equation, I just think that let's get Yama game one and go from there.
Yeah, it feels like finally, for once, some good problems for the Dodgers to have. Everybody should be available with this World Series starting on Friday. We
Yeah.
saw a lot of exuberance. We saw a lot of excitement, well earned and well deserved excitement in that clubhouse last night. We were talking before you came on about particularly Max Muncy talking to Dave Vassay, some stuff that
That was
makes you
awesome.
want to run through a brick wall. What have you kind
Yeah.
of seen from this team as the season has gone on, and going through different speed bumps, roadblocks, injuries after injuries, watching these guys come together, new pieces in there like a Teoscar Hernandez, Shohei Ohtani, all of these pieces
Yeah.
coming together to make, I'm calling it, the best Dodger team I've seen in, I don't know, a very, very long time, because
Ah,
17 was good. I think this team might be better than 17, with
yeah.
all due respect to Alanna, who very much loves a lot of the dudes on those teams. What's it like in that clubhouse, just seeing it come together over the course of 6+ months?
Well, look, I think best team, most talented team. Those are up for debate and argument. I don't know if it is when it comes to the most resilient. Um, I mean, this group has had so many valid excuses to just sort of take the foot off the gas, exhale, and let Jesus take the wheel, right? Like, yeah, it doesn't seem like it's going for us, so we're going full Thelma and Louise off the cliff, and we'll try again next year. Like but they haven't, and I love how transparent that they have been during this postseason run about that team meeting in Atlanta. because I mean I was there for the first no second game of that series, a 4-game set, and they lost the first two obviously, and it looked like that second game was the day they found out Glass was going to be done for the year, and it just looked like that was going to be the final blow for this team. And so the fact that Doc and the players were able to kind of get it all out there and talk about those feelings, that talk about that uncertainty and that doubt and a hit to your confidence, like clearly that vulnerability made them stronger. And I've only been here for 2 years, so you can't really compare this run to last year's run because they never took a step in last year's run, getting swept out of the division series. But the difference, and Max sort of alluded to it, not sort of, definitely alluded to it in that post game interview. The way that this group has attacked this postseason with a commitment to each other compared to last year. Last year, that first series, it felt like they were kind of, it was just a regular season series. Like the travel logistics were the same. The preparation, during the bye, they tried to tweak, but they were just sort of searching. Well, this year, it's like players got their own plane. They're not traveling. They're not traveling with the staff or their families or their kids. Like, they are committed to each other, and they are locked in as a group. And Alanna, again, you can provide better perspective than I can. Because I only have last year to go on. I don't know how often in the postseason that the players have had their own plane.
That's
I do
never
believe
happened.
that they're so. I
happened.
think that this year's group has made it a point to say, hey, and to steal Max's words, we're going to be boys for 3 weeks. Give me 3 weeks. No one's going to think you're a bad dad or a bad husband or a bad partner. You're going to be a great teammate. And we're going to get through this together, 1 through 30. Even the guys throwing the taxi squad, even if it's the last guy on the staff in Honey, like, we're all going to lock in these trenches together and commit to the ultimate goal, which is the World Series, and now they're 4 wins away from doing so. So the only thing I can speak to is the resilience and the commitment as a group, which seems to be different than in years past.
That is incredible, because I remember all the years that I've was with them, 7 straight seasons, we all traveled together, and it was an absolute traveling circus. I mean, you did have guys like bringing, all the kids, the giraffes, the baby seats. I remember having baby seats in my row. I was just like, what is happening here? But no, that's good for them, because you know what? It may seem like a long time, but 3 weeks in the grand scheme of things is absolutely nothing. I don't know that anybody would have had, Stephen, Tommy Edman as their NLCS MVP on their bingo card. And if you said you had it, you're lying. What's your X factor going into the World Series? Because he was the X factor in the CS.
Yeah, look, this is a point Mo made throughout these first 2 series, is that when it comes to the postseason, you hope and expect that your stars will be stars. So Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, those are your stars. They're going to do their thing. But to win 11 games in October, it's going to take a lot more than just the stars. And so for Max Muncy to be the on-base threat that he was in the season, in the series against New York, and for Tommy Edman to deliver consistently, hits in every single game, 11 RBIs to match his hit total. Those are the kinds of performances, those surprise performances that you have to win a World Series. And up to this point, they have. I shared this story on the radio, but it was back in May, a game at Dodger Stadium. I'm on the field during batting practice, talking with a couple members of the front office. And I said, look, I know July's a long way. The trade deadline is, a mere, glimmer on the horizon. But let's just say the deadline was next week. Again, this is May. Who are you going after? And I kid you not, the very first name out of their mouth was Tommy Edman. And
Wow.
Tommy at the time was still not close to being 100% healthy. But this is a guy that they have had on their radar for a while now, because, as they put it, he's elite at second base. He's won a Gold Glove there. He's elite at short, and we feel he's elite at center field. He's a switch hitter. He is someone that does not like to strike out, and in his career has been a stingy hitter when it comes to punching out. He puts the ball in play. He fits this team to a T. And you remember that time, still shortstop was a huge question mark, right? Mookie was still going through his growing pains at the position. And so the fact that they not only had the opportunity, but got it done to trade for Edman at the deadline, that was a guy that they were committed to for a long time. And despite there being a ton of questions about his own health, last year he was playing basically with one hand, and he had to have wrist surgery, and that took a while to get right. And then once the wrist got right, then he messed up his ankle. And so, Tommy has joked that he feels like he's in midseason form because this basically is the middle of his season. And I guess up to this point now, I'm excited to see what postseason form is like, because midseason is pretty damn good for Tommy Edman. It's so deserving. He is an angel of a human. It's one of the nicest guys I've come across in my time in Major League Baseball. And so, another guy that you just drop into that Dodger clubhouse and without a worry. So he's been massive, and now you wonder who's going to be next. Kike has had his moments this October. Max and Edman, you fingers crossed that Will Smith can catch lightning here following his home run last night too. So I think he'd be the sort of the last big piece that you're looking at.
Yeah, Tommy Edman, I tell you what, I love that he's in midseason form. All he's got left is maybe 7 games and 4 more wins. Steven Nelson, we can't thank you enough. Enjoy this ride, my friend. It doesn't happen very often. We appreciate the insight. We'll talk soon.
Love you guys. Thanks for having me as always. And 4 more. Job's not finished.
Job's not finished. All right. Thanks, Kobe. All right. Steven Nelson, of course, with AM 570 and Sportsnet LA. Time now for Last Looks.
Let's do it.
All right, everybody, let me introduce you to Bentley. Bentley is a wonderful pup that's about 2 years old, German Shepherd mix. He is in training, a board and train session with Heroics K9. He has been so failed by so many humans, but he's lovable. He's learning all of the good things. He's learning great behavior. He's just being trained, and he's wonderful. He's sweet. He's neutered. He's vaccinated. He's awesome. He's a great family dog. Looking for somebody that's active, that likes to hike, that likes to walk, that likes to play. He's just wonderful. If you're interested in learning more about Bentley, please reach out to me on social or GoodreadsGuardian.org for more info. All right, Clint, what is coming up on All Dodgers? We've had a lot of time to talk over the last few days, of course, but all good things. What do you got coming up on All Dodgers with Clint Pasillas?
Well, we got more Dodger talk tonight. We got some voicemail reactions from the fans. Of course, I was doing a live show at somebody's house last night. Had a lot of fun there, but still want more thoughts. I want more I want to get a feel for where people are at as we get now into the most important part of the season, a spot we haven't been since you left us after 2020, with all due respect. So let's go. Let's ride. Subscribe to the channel. Coming up tonight, 6 o'clock Pacific time. If you guys know the voicemail hotline number, give us a call. I want to hear what people are thinking, how we're feeling about this team, where people want to go. I know a lot of people also have questions about the availability of Brusdar Graterol, Alex Vesia. What do you do in this bullpen? So we'll be talking through that a little bit, and more content coming over the course of the week. So yeah, tube in with that. But I think that feels like a pretty dang good show, Alanna. Hopefully there was a bunch of people in here. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. If you're subscribing there, make sure you're subscribing here as well. Like Alanna said, hit that thumbs up. Give us that rating on the YouTube or the podcast platform. Review the show if possible. All those things go such a long way. We will be back Thursday, hopefully with a big crossover episode.
I hope so. Hopefully Pinstripe Territory can join us, Derek Lewandowski. We appreciate you guys very much. Thanks for being here. We'll definitely see you on Thursday with a brand new episode of Dodgers Territory.
Bye.